What we do here is go back.
Hello there, everybody. You saw the pig intro. You know what time it is on the Kev. And guess who just got back today? It's the muscle mummy that has been away. Dr. Krista Winters.
True.
How are you?
Yeah, as I was just saying, I'm pretty chill at the moment.
Yes, you're getting to a holiday spirit.
Well, yeah, I guess I'm making a step forward because, like, I'm getting to the Schadenfreude point of the rise of fascism.
Right, okay.
Where we can just look at the incompetent of fascists and wonder, why did people vote? So I don't know if you've been following or at least seen in the news that the Republicans can't get, like, a stopgap funding measure, and Elon Musk is trying to... Elon Musk is throwing his dick around, pretending like he's somehow a politician who has, you know, like, democratic legitimacy in any way, shape, or form to influence politics.
I miss the days when America used to pretend not to be an oligarchy.
Yeah, now we're just like openly an oligarchy.
No, it's just no. If you don't do what the richest man in the world says, you'll be destroyed.
Yeah, he'll just primary you and fund your opponent and kick you out. So now there's just the rule by the fear of the rich, basically. But yeah, they're fucking competent and they can't. The government's probably going to shut down. So there you go. Thanks, Trump.
Probably, yeah. But I suppose it's good to see that he doesn't have total control. That's probably positive. Like this nonsense. I mean, the dick riding is exceptionally bad. Of Elon, like, we'll make him speaker, which apparently is legal. You can do that because you don't have to be
in the
chamber, which is ludicrous. America, I don't quite know what the fuck that is. Like, Anyway, they can't get anything passed. And they've got a majority of like 3 or 4 or something. 2.
I thought it was down to 2.
Was it 2? Okay, yeah. So like they need...
after the California your results.
Yeah, well, presumably one of them will shit
they're
themselves
not
to
gonna do
death, or you know, forget to vote, or fucking die tying their own shoelaces. And then their majority is gone. So, like, there's no fucking way that happens. They couldn't get, like, reasonable people as speaker last time. Even people who had done the job, who were a member of the fucking organisation, still couldn't get the votes together. So the idea that they're going to make Elon Musk the speaker, fuck off. What the fuck, what world are you in?
What, he's going to be a CEO at, like, 75 companies and be the Speaker of the House? Get the fuck out.
Yeah, it's just not going to happen. It's fucking drivel. Anyway, thank you, Flint Reed, who says, okay, all aboard the Kev party bus, pay up and hop on, pay piggies, oink oink beep beep. Thank you for that £5. That's, I mean, I'm very generous, but also very mental. I appreciate that. Oh, and I've got a Jesus Christ. As a joke.
You've got a Jesus Christ as a pet?
I have, yeah. I keep him in a cage.
Oh. Yeah, but you let him out every couple hours, so that's humane.
Well, he's like a goat. He eats the grass, so you don't need to mow it anymore. It's very convenient. No, I've got as a joke. I discovered. I think it was with you live, wasn't it? How to do goals on the YouTube chat thing. Yes,
and we set very low expectations,
very
low goals,
indeed,
so that they're very doable.
Yeah,
yep.
Which I've stuck to, but it's now turned weird. Because
you and your audience turned something weird? No.
Well, I specifically turned it weird. I kissed Sonic the other day. That was nice.
The hedgehog.
Yeah, the hedgehog that my mother had lovingly crocheted for me because she's fucking.
Because
mental.
Your brother lied to her and told her that you really liked Sonic stuff.
Yeah, mental. Anyway, so that happened, and then I've also, someone said you should watch Sonic 3. Apparently, it's a third Sonic film. I didn't even know there was a second one. Anyway, that's how in the loop I am. And I said, oh, I'll watch that as totally 100% legally as a watch party in the Discord at some point.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have to do that. I hate having to follow through on stupid ideas that I throw out there for no reason. Don't hold me to things, chat.
Talking about stupid ideas.
Go on,
while I was in Würzburg staying with a friend, he happened upon the AFD's political statements, like their goals that they're running on for the next election. And he's like, what's the stupidest thing that you think that the AFD could, run on? And I was like, oh, it's probably some anti-immigration. He's like, no, go dumber. Be dumber. Think dumber.
Compulsory squirrel porn.
That's actually, like, I don't know. I think there's a niche market for that. I think there might be a very sub-market for that.
Yeah, absolutely.
But no, they want to leave the EU.
Naturally.
B, get rid of the euro.
How can they do that as not part of the EU?
Go back to the mark.
Hang on. So not even the Deutschmark?
The Deutschmark, yeah. Go back to the old German currency.
Not the pre-Second World War mark that was very successful. Yeah. No, the Deutschmark was the one before the euro. Yes.
Yeah.
So, okay, well that's, okay. So, I mean, it's return to the gold standard. Love it. And naturally, Elon Musk has tweeted out that the AFD is the only ones that can save Germany.
God.
He's just a fascist. Honestly.
Yes. It's not even pretending.
Can we get, like, the bat signal, but for Luigi, please? Can somebody invent that for us, please? I think we need it. This was another one I did. So again, as part of the goal, I set a goal, and I said that I'd get Knuckles and Sonic to kiss.
Okay.
So I did. It became a little act in of itself, really. Let's have a look. Hang on a minute. Boom. There we go. Oh yeah, I had a little bit of a shave.
All right. Let's see. Oh, yep.
There we go. Let's turn the volume up because it is quite low. Hello, Knuckles. Hello, Sonic. Do you want to blow in my back doors? Not really. It's a first date. How about a kiss? Okay. That's the noise they make.
Well, People pay money for this, huh?
Yeah, I know. That's it. That technically counts as entertainment.
That's content.
Yeah, technically that's content. Someone paid me money to do that. More for them. That's what I say. Sexy Kev. No, not sexy. That was the least sexy thing you will have ever seen. Surely. Anyway. Yes. So this week, I was taking care, having mentioned my brother who lied to my mother.
Yes.
I was taking care of his frog-spawn hell child. He's got two of them, but the youngest one is very small and sleeps a lot.
Oh, that makes it easier.
Yeah, but
for a little while.
My young niece, about 3 years old, well, nearly 4 now, and she likes sticking things on things, right? So she put a scrunchie in my hair.
Aw,
and
nice.
Various googly eyes with stickers all over me, and most of which had fallen off by the time that I drove her home. Then on the way home, went into the shop for several minutes, met people and said hello and all the rest of it, and then went home. Only to then realise I still had the scrunch in my hair and a fucking googly eye stuck to me. And I thought,
love it.
Okay, that I understand why the girl behind the fucking till was laughing. Yeah. There you go.
That's nice.
Flint Reese says, does your mom know what you're making Sonic do?
Of course not.
No.
She doesn't watch the show.
No, and no one is to tell her. If anyone does, I will.
Narc.
People are going to get fucking hurt.
Do not narc.
Okay? Exactly. Snitches get stitches for being punk-ass bitches. Okay? Fact. Anyway, yeah, so Würzburg, totally real, yeah?
It is a real city, yeah.
Can confirm.
They have basically like one big Christmas market rather than like a bunch of, well, we have a bunch of medium-sized ones. Cologne is huge. But we went to the residence, which was completely blown up during the Second World War. You know, thanks Britain, thanks America.
You're welcome.
Yeah, apparently it was a kind of a rail hub. So like they moved a lot of like
to
people
Germany,
and munitions through there.
To the entirety of Germany and indeed Central Europe. If you wanted to have historic buildings still left, why did you do a Nazism? That's what I ask.
Yeah, funny how you got to do colonialism all over the world, but it never really came.
That's
home.
the brown people. You didn't get the memo. You take over brown people countries. Once you start taking over white people countries, we had to step in. It's not acceptable.
They found another unexploded bomb in Cologne on Wednesday.
You're welcome.
As I was leaving. Yeah.
You're very welcome.
So they did like clear out an area and of people and try to defuse it. But then they rebuilt the royal residence based on pictures and descriptions.
See,
and
now that's that's a red rag to a bull. That's all I'm saying. You rebuilt it. It's like 10-pin bowling, you know?
Yeah, they have. You know, what was kind of weird about it was. There's an area where they talk about the destruction, and then I don't know. I think they started rebuilding it in the 1950s, and it didn't end until 2016 when they finally like finished all of the work they wanted to do. But a lot of the works in the residence were preserved by an American officer who was an art historian.
Oh, a guy.
And
right. Okay.
when basically a gay guy, I'm sure. And when the Americans came and like occupied it, he covered a bunch of stuff up and basically preserved the originals.
Fucking woke madness.
Just kind of like, isn't it strange? You bomb the shit out of a place and you go, oh, this is really sad. Quick, like, here, fix this so that we don't like, do too much. Like what? Like
no,
don't
it's just
do more
no. He was woke, Christo.
Yeah,
he was clearly woke. Okay, trying to save art. What a puff.
So, God, that's a word I haven't heard since the 90s.
Oh, we had a belter this week. Of Syria happened, and lots of fake leftoids who were like pro-Putin, pro-Assad people were all like crying,
sad.
lake of tears. It was delightful. Honestly, I've
not to say that the people who are coming in are better, but fuck those guys.
Yeah, I've been doing backstroke in a swimming pool filled with their tears all week. It's been delightful. One of which was George Galloway, former Member of Parliament and all-round twat. Anyway,
yes.
He, in being very, very racist towards Arabs, also described some of the people fighting with ISIS as they're from China, apparently. I didn't know this, but apparently some of them are. He described them as Chinamen.
He didn't.
Chinamen.
He didn't say that. That's like a joke. That's something John Goodman said in The Big Lebowski to be obviously out of touch. Oh, no, Chinaman isn't the preferred nomenclature. It's Asian American.
Chinaman. I'm sorry,
I can't believe he
is it
said that
1953?
Yeah.
Chinaman. Amazing.
Wait, but who is he? In reference to what?
But apparently, some of the forces that have taken over weren't Arabs, right? And he was like, so in addition to being racist towards Arab people, he was saying some of these people aren't even taking over, who aren't even Arabs. They're like Uyghur Chinese Muslims who are fighting alongside, and he referred to them as Chinamen.
Oh, right.
Chinaman. Yeah, can I play the clip for her? I think it's on the bad site. It probably is on YouTube. If someone finds a YouTube clip of it, I'll play it.
give a non Grok feeding AI generating profiting Elon Musk and his evil world domination plan.
Yeah. So he's literally just using archaic phrases beyond belief. So Elliot, with a very generous bits donation. Talking about unexploded bombs, one of my earliest memories is the police kicking me and my family out of our house, and next door neighbour had an unexploded World War II bomb, and we were sent to Aldi. It did not explode.
Oh, the grocery store.
Also free Luigi. Okay, well I don't know where you're from, Elliot, but again, you're welcome. Okay. After what Christie did to Salzburg, we don't talk about it enough, but you're welcome.
Literally nothing happened at Salzburg.
You literally flattened it, Christo.
One place that got away with no bombing.
You carpet bombed it. You were the inspiration for America's wars in Indochina. Another archaic phrase.
Yeah, I was gonna say, wow, that's a. Well, we decided that all Europeans are Asians. We're Euro-Asians.
Oh yeah, we can play that video. Because
let's do that.
It absolutely is true. I'd never even really thought of it this way. Yeah. But you're not conditioned to think. You're brought up with these precepts already in your mind.
Indoctrinated, I think is the word you're looking for.
Yeah, basically, yeah. And you're by white Europeanoids, Angloids of a sort.
Who want to be special.
Yeah. Who've just been like, oh no, white people are better. And Europe's better and all that shit. And tisn't. Hang on, Europeans
you're
are
fucking Mary Poppins.
What's this? Is this the video in question? That is not the video. I don't know what the fuck that is. Hang on a minute. So
by the way, I'm finishing up this little gnome artificer or artificer, depending, character, and I have to give them a name, and I've given them the nickname Poggers in honor of you, Kevin.
Oh, thank you. That is so PogChamp. Honestly. So this is a comedian guy being based as fuck.
Yep.
Is not even a continent.
Hang on, we'll start again.
Okay.
A continent.
Right, he says Europe is not even a continent. For some reason, he won't let me play with fucking audio.
I know.
Fuck you, Instagram, prick.
Exactly. Fuck Instagram.
It's not. Europe has defined what is a continent.
Yep.
A continent is a large island surrounded by water. North America, nice. Large island surrounded by water. No problem. Your continent, brother. I approve. South America, large island surrounded by water. I approve. Africa, large island surrounded by water. I approve. Australia, large island surrounded by water. Antarctica, large island surrounded by water. One penguin is there. There is only one more continent. It's this. This is not a separate continent. I am a person, this is my hand. It is part of me only. This can't have a different passport. Europe is Asia. Europeans are Asians. This is not Eastern Europe, this is Central Asia. Is not even a continent.
I very much think of myself as a Western Asian. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I think we really should. Yeah. I think we should start reclaiming our language to be more historically accurate. I think we should stop talking about, in the American history books, we shouldn't call them slave rebellions. We should call them freedom insurrections. The states put down freedom insurrections.
Pog uprisings.
Pog uprisings, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, beautiful. Yes. And the Civil War wasn't very civil. So
No, they usually aren't really.
no.
I wonder where did that come from, Civil War? I mean, obviously it's like civil society, but it seems like a weird, rather than like internal war, or I don't know, fraternal war or something like that. Civil War.
Ladies and
Why
gentlemen,
Civil War?
we got him.
Yeah.
Victory is ours.
One of those mysteries of histories.
You're Scottish. No, well, yeah, but you live on an island off of Western Asia. Yes.
Yeah.
Mad Cat. The same island I live on. Which is
Wait,
nice.
does that make Ireland and the UK a continent? Each continent?
No, it has to be large.
Okay.
Otherwise,
Well, I
like
guess-
every tiny little atoll is which
That's
doesn't make
true.
sense, you know.
Any little dot in the sea would be
Yeah.
any rocks sticking
We're
out from
basically the Western version of Japan.
Yes.
Japan's just off the east coast of the Asia-European land.
You're an island, not a continent.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Great Britain is a continent. No, it isn't. It
They
just
just
it
think
just
they
isn't.
are.
No. Greenland could be a consonant.
Yeah, it's-
You're a twat, Kev.
Consonant. It could be.
No, it's a
consonant.
vowel. There's just literally two vowels together, for God's sake. The term civil war comes from the Latin phrase bellum civile, which translates as the war or pertaining to civilians, and was first used to describe the Roman civil wars of the 1st century BCE.
Thank you. The Roman Civil War.
You
son.
absolute guy. As if you've just told me that piece of information. Jesus Christ.
They did
Stop
though.
it.
They did.
Get some help.
They just educated the audience on something that was pertinent, which means they don't belong here.
They're making us better.
Exactly. That was sensible and worthwhile as a contribution. Have you not been here before? What? Here's the Galloway bit, linked right to the section where it started. Moranaka. Firstly, thank you for resubscribing, and with the message of... Again, you don't seem to be aware of how this works. You're supposed to send me irrelevant shit, not things I literally asked for.
You're being too useful.
Exactly.
Yes.
Someone sent me a
Making the
death
show
metal
better.
cover of a song I'd never heard last night.
Oh.
And I was like,
cool.
why are you... What? Why have you sent this to
Oh
me?
no. Oh my God. Does he have his own podcast? Of course
He does, called The Mother of All Talk Shows.
Oh, is that because he got famous for saying something the mother of like 20 years ago?
Well, true, but that's a play on The Mother of All
Yeah.
Parliaments, which interestingly was from a speech given by Neville Chamberlain, the guy that would go on to become Prime Minister, in Birmingham, which is the city he was from. Yeah, he would describe the British Parliament as the mother of all parliaments. And being a big bunch of fart-sniffing wankers that we are, we went, yes, we'll call our parliament that. It's not relevant to anything. It isn't the mother of all parliaments at all. We didn't invent democracy, nor have we perfected it. Literally, the mother of all parliaments has one elected chamber, and one unelected chamber, and an unelected head of state, and unelected judges, and unelected everything else. But we're the mother of all parliaments, you understand, because we said so. Anyway.
Yep.
So, so that it's sort of a play on that. Either way, he does this, and I think is he still on the Iranian state TV channel?
Oh my God, are you serious?
No, seriously, yeah, I forget what it was called, but he was at some time on the, is it Press TV or whatever it's called? Which is literally like the Iranian version of RT, basically. But for some reason hasn't been banned in Europe. Okay. Yeah, so that's a thing. Anyway, here he is being phenomenally racist to various bits of the continent that we are from.
Okay.
Asia.
Such takfiri Islamist fanaticism can never liberate the Arabs, has no wish to liberate the Arabs, doesn't even see itself as Arab. There were only 25,000 fighters in Golani's army, and 5,000 of those were Chinamen.
Oh God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God.
There's a bit earlier where he goes on about the Arabs are beyond, beyond saving or something. You're like, what the fuck are you talking about? You're a lunatic.
Yeah. Take your hat off. It's cutting out
Chinaman.
speculation.
Uyghurs.
Now, you think, okay, that's as racist as it's going to get towards these Chinese people, isn't it?
You think?
You would think
but
so, naturally, but if so, you have never seen George Galloway before.
Don't even speak Arabic. don't even know who the Arab music stars whose albums they're burning right now, don't even know who they are. Never tasted Syrian hummus or shakshuka. Don't care for it.
What is
They
that?
eat rice for their breakfast, you see.
All the Chinese, all of them eat rice for breakfast.
What the hell?
With bamboo chopsticks. And those funny little hats that look like fucking, like lampshades. Yeah. Because apparently this is from a really racist fucking 1930s Hanna-Barbera cartoon.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
5,000 out of 25,000 are Chinamen.
Brilliant. Thanks, George. We'll come back to more at 11, mate. Fuck me sideways. So, that was George Galloway's...
Racist.
racist
like
nonsense.
Rant.
Yeah, exactly. Arab countries eat rice, and like in an internationalized world, you can get foreign food in China. Like, you know, they've got McDonald's there now. I'm sure they could get hold of hummus, considering it's just fucking chickpeas, for God's sake. Anyway, fucking lunatic.
Yeah, complete.
Yes, so that was George Galloway. Anyway, talking of old dickheads who used to pretend to be a bit left-wing, Stephen Fry.
Oh no, now what?
Exactly. Stephen Fry, for me, sums up perfectly two main points, which a lot of Americans fall for, but actually a lot of other people fall for, including Britons. Firstly, the idea that because you're well-spoken, because you're intelligent, you're a good person, which isn't remotely true.
No.
And secondly, that if you speak well with like a cut-glass English accent, and you know some facts, especially if you can sprinkle in some Latin, that you're intelligent. And that isn't true.
Nope.
It isn't true at all. He seems a lot cleverer than he is, because on QI, the show that he used to host... Oh, he's
the host.
Well, used to host. Now
Yeah.
it's the delightful Danish lesbian Sandy Togsvig.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, yes, he had people like feeding him all of that information. He didn't know those things.
No. He had little elves.
Yeah,
The
the
QI elves.
researchers did all of that. He just read an auto cue.
Yes, so he looked very clever, but he actually didn't know shit.
Yeah. So anyway, he went on the trigonometry. So it's like trigonometry, but it's trigonometry.
Yeah.
Podcast thing. And it's entitled "The Rise of the Right is the Left's Fault."
Of course.
Naturally.
You always blame the left for the rise of fascism, because it's not the fascists who are to blame.
Well, of course not, no. But personal responsibility for everybody else, you understand. Why are you being shit?
Come on, YouTube, get your shit together.
Oh, fuck. Okay, right. It's because the fucking ad block thing. Hang on. There you go. As soon as you turn ad block off, it starts working again. Didn't even play an advert. Why did you get me to take ad block off and you're not even playing a fucking advert? Oh, fuck off, YouTube.
Deeply, deeply rotten in the state of Denmark. What you stand for here on trigonometry is correct. Almost everything that I dislike about the rise of the right in America and here and in Europe, I can say is probably the fault of the left.
What a fucking sellout.
What a massive piece of shit. Also, considering you had dinner this week with noted fascist, fuck's sake. I forgot his name. Douglas Murray.
He didn't.
He did. And Lawrence Krauss, friends of Jeffrey Epstein, of course. And Richard Dawkins. So, yeah, the fact that you had dinner with him and consider him a friend, I don't think you do hate the rise of the right.
No. What you want is privilege. You want white male privilege. And you still want to like cede ground to heteronormativity and keep us trapped in like, I don't know, a homophobic 1980s, basically.
Yep. Well, I don't know if we'll get to it because it's quite long, but there's a part in it where he starts going on about the LGBT community and how it was fine back in the day, but now it's gone too far. So basically, when they were fighting for my rights as a cis gay man, it was fine. But now the transoids want in, and I'm not having it. He's one of those guys.
Yep. He's pulling up the ladder behind him.
Yes.
greatest sin seems to be, and I speak as a sort of leftist, is they would rather be right than effective. There's not even a Wizard of Oz operating the levers in the background. There's just nobody.
You'd rather argue the moral position, the pro-freedom position, than to sell out and chuck trans people down the toilet so that you can get more votes. Is that what he's complaining about?
I believe so, yes. I believe so.
Fuck him?
Cathay says, I got blocked on Twitter by Richard Dawkins. I called him a cunt. Now, I thought he was a scientist, so why could he be offended by an accurate description? That's just a scientific... That's like a field note on an animal or something. He is a cunt, yeah.
Yeah. You're a cunt, you're a cunt, you're a cunt.
Oh dear, I seem to have spotted a cunt. Good day!
You must be very uncomfortable with police enforcing speech.
Oh, absolutely. It's absurd. To start to get afraid of a word is a very bad, I think, very bad thing psychologically.
Why?
Because you're not facing the truth behind the word.
What is he
Stephen Fry?
I don't
It's
know.
a dream come true for us.
Shush.
Very sweet of you.
It's so great to have you on the show. You were one of our absolute, favorite guests to get on 7 years ago now when we started the show. So it's a real honor for us. Thank you so much for being here. I want to read you a quote. I don't normally do this. From a man Francis and I both greatly respect. It's this. It's now very common.
Stephen's still upset that out of his double act, he wasn't the one who had a successful TV role in Hollywood success.
Yeah, I think he is
Huge lorry.
I think he is a little bit,
Oh, bollocks, he's run
He's-
off again. Well, don't...
I think he is, unfortunately, angry that he didn't get the successful career post a bit of Fry and Laurie. Yeah. Dr.
Oh, he's
House.
jealous of...
Yeah, exactly. He went on to do Dr. House and become the biggest star on TV for a while, and Fry was doing QI, which was popular enough. Like, that's fine, but it's not the same.
I'm going to go out on a limb here and say something perhaps a bit provocative.
Go on then.
If Stephen Fry wasn't gay, he'd just be another Jeremy Clarkson.
Probably, yeah.
Because he's
I
got
don't think that is
that...
controversial. I think that's basically true.
Because I think he's otherwise like a more of a Tory, his class and his background and his the people he hangs out with are very much of a they're snobs, right? They're elitist, and they have more sympathy with the people in power than the people exploited by those with power.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. The only reason he's even remotely, quote unquote, a leftist is because he was fighting for his own rights as a gay man in the 80s and 90s when that was still controversial.
Yeah. And he was slightly critical of the church. Ooh, wow.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, fucking Richard Dawkins and Sam Harris and all these other people are critical of the church. You can be a fascist and be critical of the church.
Exactly.
Because the thing is, religion is so fucking amorphous that you can attack it from the far right and you can attack it from the far left. You can say, Jesus was a fucking communoid piece of shit. Or you can say, Jesus was a hierarchical, fucking
he did nothing to change.
Racist piece of shit, you know.
He didn't actually disrupt the system. He just told people to, like, don't pay attention to it.
Yeah. Stephen Fry is a dumb person, smart person. I'm not sure about that. I think he's like... That's true of people like Donald Trump, for instance. I think there's more to Stephen Fry than that. I don't think he's a stupid person, but I don't think he's as, like... People talk about him like he's a genius, and yet, if you've watched a bit of Fry and Laurie, it's largely fart huffing and dick jokes. Which is fine, but let's not pretend he's a genius for doing what we all could do.
Yeah, it's not like he was doing anarchic comedy. I mean, he took part in The Young Ones, but he was playing a role there. But, I mean, a bit of Fry and Laurie, it's a lot of just kind of classic vaudeville-ish sort of, like, tropes and sketch comedy that was maybe a little bit edgy for its time, but it certainly wasn't, groundbreaking in any kind of anarchic way. Yeah. And then, of course, they did, like fucking Wooster and Jeeves, which is right into that class division of...
Right into that class division, and was written 50 years before they were born.
And was, like, also has a lot of racist language. Of course, Christie does, too. Like, there's a lot of problematic added stereotypes put into those works.
True.
To hear people say, I'm rather offended by that, as if that gives them certain rights. It's actually nothing more than a whine. I find that offensive. It has no meaning, it has no purpose, it has no reason to be respected as a phrase. I'm offended by that. Well, so fucking what?
That was me, wasn't it?
That was Stephen Fry.
Yes,
so
I remember writing
that
that.
was a good close to
So,
20 years
pause
ago
it.
now.
It's become one of
Yeah. You've said something that has like hurt me. Fuck you. That's what Stephen Fry would say.
Also,
Fuck.
in terms of what Stephen Fry thinks you can't moan about, apparently that includes being sexually abused as a child.
Really?
Yeah. Don't know if you remember this. From the time that he definitely didn't aid the right in its rise, when he went on the Dave Rubin show about 8 years ago, during the rise of Donald Trump, and said that abuse victims were self-pitying and needed to shut up.
Fuck you. Fuck you, Stephen Fry.
He was the head of a mental health charity at the time.
Yeah.
He didn't
Imagine that.
He didn't remain so for a long time.
I wonder why.
Yeah. So
yeah,
like,
I think the other.
you know.
He's also because of his voice. He is good at doing voice work, and so he's given paid work to read intelligent people's scripts about things to again make him sound much smarter than he actually is.
Yeah.
And clearly lacks utter compassion for people.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. No, it honestly is. It's the private school system. It raises fucking sociopaths and psychopaths. It raises horrific bastards. The kind of bastards who can go in and fire on a peaceful group of Indian protesters, for instance.
Yeah.
That's why that system exists in the way that it exists. It was to raise evil bastards who would do evil bastardry and keep the system in place. And he's just a modern, softer version of that.
Exactly. Yeah. Absolutely.
One of those internet postcards that are usually, there's a sunrise or or dew on the end of a blade of grass. And
it's so funny to me that these people who they're on a podcast called Trigonometry about other people being offended and how this is really these people get offended so easily, are the most easily offended bitches in the world.
Oh yeah, that was the other thing my friend showed me was a video of like the right says that the left is always getting offended. Here's a list of things that the right are offended by, like pronouns, genders, like healthcare.
They were fucking Bud Light.
But yes, that was on that. Yeah, that was on that
Keurig coffee machines.
Mm-hmm.
What was the certain type of pinto bean? I think it was that they were boycotting during Trump's
Oh no, that was Goya beans.
Goya beans.
He was Goya was a pro-Trump guy.
No, yeah, but there's something to do with them. There was another brand that came out and said the opposite, and they were boycotting them or something. I don't know. But either way, like they boycott everything.
Yeah.
A guy taking a knee meant that they were burning fucking Nike stuff or something. What the fuck?
I think I have the video.
Of what?
Of her going off on what the right is offended of.
Yeah.
Okay, I can send it to you on where do you want it, on Twitch or in the Discord?
Discord works. Discord is absolutely fine.
Coming up right now. Paste and send. Okay, it's another Instagram piece of crap that you can't pause, but so yeah, just be aware. And so as they talk about how sensitive and over, like hypersensitive the left is, let's just get a little frame of reference for this, shall we?
It was just a joke. The left get offended so easily. Here is an incomplete list of what offends the right. Pronouns, other people's genitals, same-sex couples, when men paint their nails, drag queens, rainbows, Bud Light, when people say Happy Holidays instead of Merry Christmas, books, libraries, Harry Potter, other people near them speaking languages that aren't English, especially Spanish, brown immigrants, vegetarians and vegans, women, especially child-free, highly educated women, and women who exercise their bodily autonomy, different hair colors, when women wear makeup, when women don't wear makeup, cats, Taylor Swift, masks, mask mandates, when other people wear masks, vaccines, truth, reality, and facts, cities, the green, purple, and brown M&Ms, Disney, the Dixie Chicks, Eminem, Bruce Springsteen, Green Day, when fictional characters in movies aren't white, like Ariel in The Little Mermaid, gun-free zones, not winning elections, atheists, video games, Potato Head, and Barbie. It was just a joke.
Literally.
Yep.
Literally.
So who's too fragile to use language here?
We should start our own thing called Trigonometry. and just point out that.
Yep.
The wet nose of a fallow deer. But yes, I mean, I kind of mean it, and I mean it as one always should for these things, directed inwards. I mean, that's to say, I have to accept that if I'm offended, it doesn't really mean anything. It's sad to be offended. If I'm offended on the basis of my looks, my race, my sexuality, my manner, my work, almost anything, I can be slightly offended if someone is rude about it, but that's because it's rude. But rudeness is not a crime, it's just a solecism, if you like.
Right, but no one is suggesting it's a crime or that it should be a crime. No, when they say I'm offended, they're not saying I want you arrested.
Well, there are hate speech laws.
Well, there are, but that goes beyond just being offended, really. I think that becomes...
Yeah, because we want society, public spaces should be safe for everyone. And if you're going around making people feel unsafe, then you're violating their right to be safe and, in their own society, which should be a crime. But if you offend, like, if it, again, it kind of depends on, like, if I criticize Jesus and a Christian gets offended, I'm criticizing Jesus, not them. Them getting offended on behalf of Jesus is like a weird blasphemy.
What about if they're called Jesus?
Yeah, well, Jesus is actually a pretty cool guy. So I wouldn't say shit about him.
Yeah, no, he's all right.
But if you insult someone, you say I'm offended. I do think that you're valid in being acknowledged. That you shouldn't tolerate that kind of stuff, or you shouldn't have to tolerate that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Especially if it's done by an oppressor group.
And I think I was thinking as I walked here, what are we going to talk about? Do I believe in free speech? Well, how can one say one doesn't believe in free speech? But is free speech the acme of everything that we have to aim for in life? Why is free speech important? Why do we value it? We value it because it's just, it's fair, it's reasonable, and it's fair.
Can you pause it?
For a fairer world.
Free speech is a way that oppressors hide. If you have free speech, cannot be free speech if there's a disparity in power. Because someone like Elon Musk and I do not have the same kind of free speech.
Yeah.
On paper, it might legally be, but the fact is that he has the ability, because of his power, to shut me up.
Yeah, exactly.
And to close down my free speech.
Yeah.
And then people can say that's wrong, or he can drown me out, or he can summon an army of trolls. And there's an inequality that I think this is a really simplistic and I think increasingly naive view of free speech, that you have to always, you have to analyze free speech through the power lens, not just on a, because the people who, the First Amendment and the free speech stuff, these were like white men giving each other the right to free speech. They weren't giving it to enslaved people.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I think you make a very good point. Yeah, me and Rupert Murdoch technically have the same rights.
Mm-hmm.
But
yes.
I don't own any fucking newspapers.
Exactly. Yes.
So some people have more speech than others.
Exactly. Some animals are. How does it go?
So all animals are equal, but some animals are more equal
than others. Yep.
Indeed.
And that tells us that justice and fairness are actually the end point. Freedom of speech is not an end point. You don't say, I want a society where everyone can speak freely. You say, I want a society where everyone can speak freely because it leads to a society where people are happier and there is more equity and justice in the world. I don't mean necessarily I'm going to say that free speech is the aim of every social justice warrior, as they used to be called in the, back in the dark days of Twitter, SJWs, libtards, and all the insults that used to be directed at people like me, and probably rightly. But
probably rightly, you fucking tool.
Please oppress me harder, Daddy.
I self-identify as a libtard. Is that really where you want to go with the end of your life, Stephen Fry?
Yeah, exactly. No, his pronouns are lib and tard.
Yeah, apparently.
Amazing.
Dickhead.
Well done, Stephen.
Absolute dickhead. Why do these old men ruin their careers by opening their mouths?
Because they're so rich that they don't have to hide it anymore.
Well, not John Cleese. I think he's broke. I think
probably. Also, society moves beyond them. Like Stephen Fry probably was left-wing in the 80s. John Cleese was left-wing in the 70s.
Yeah.
But society moves on beyond
50 years ago.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Oh, God, it was 50 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no. Are we getting old? I'm not getting old. I'm still young.
Oh, what was that whole thing like? 1980 is as close to 1935 as it is to like 2025.
Yeah, fuck that. I don't like numbers. Numbers can fuck off.
And I think that's best shown in the difference between Europe and America. In America, it really is the most important thing, free speech.
No, it's oh my god, no! Like, to say that to like the striking workers who are having the cop bust up their strikes.
Yeah.
For Amazon right now,
yeah.
It's the illusion again. It's this like privileged white male view of the world where you think that your privileged status is somehow generalizable, and no one should be shut. No one has a right to complain.
Yeah.
Because you live in a very privileged position. And then what you don't realize, again, is you're not viewing it through a critical lens of power, the power disparities.
True. Oh, sorry, Flynn. I did miss a super chat. You wrote...
oh!
Yeah, Kev's right. We mostly do bum jokes on Friday because Christy is a bad influence on us.
Oink, oink, beep, beep.
True. Okay, we'll set a goal. Fuck it, we're setting a goal. Let's do one super chat. $2 dues, or £2,
okay.
Which is, I don't know how many dollars that is. We'll go for an hour. What will we do to celebrate? What will we do, Christy? I'll leave it up to you.
Oh, Kevin will rap.
Oh God. Okay.
Okay, that a hip hop. We'll have to get the lyrics to that, and you can send that.
I'll just put K rap.
Yeah.
There you go.
Kev rap.
Boom. Done. So that's on the YouTubes. But you can give me money on Twitch as well, as indeed Kieran Saunders did with Bitty Bits and Marinaka with resubscribing. Nice. Much love to you.
Stop it. Get some
Christy darling, how far away from Magdeburg are you? Well, that's quite personal, Mad Cat. I'll allow her to answer the question if she wants to, but
I have to look it up on the map. I mean, Cologne's a big city, so Magdeburg.
Channel 4 News is showing a news story from there right now.
Oh, okay. Magdeburg is it's far away. It's like past Hanover. It's like a 5-hour drive for me, or 5.5 by train.
6 minutes on the very effective public transport system.
No, not anymore, because the conservatives just, never did repairs for 20 years and let it get dilapidated, and now the left are fixing it, and everyone's mad because there's, delays on the line because they're actually fixing the railroads for the first time in 20 years.
True.
It would take me 4 days to walk there.
Check my link for context. The people being referred to are lolicon weebs. I don't think I want to check that link, Phantom. I understand what lolicon is, and I don't want to watch or see or read about that. Thank you very much.
Yep, skipping that.
Yeah.
It's in central Germany.
Thank you.
Far from me.
Well, indeed. It's in Western Asia, yes.
It is West, yes.
Thank you to...
Stop it.
Mr. Satnav for resubscribing. Thank you to Mr. Satnav for gifting 5 subs. Much love. And thank you, Sibwell, for resubscribing. We're on a hype train.
Oh, choo-choo.
If we get to level, whatever, the next level, I don't know what fucking level we're on, I will finger... Who will I finger?
Lord Freeters donated $5.
Who will I
the
finger,
pay pigs
Christo?
in the chat go
I
oink
don't know.
oink 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 oink.
I guess
oink,
we shout out a
oink,
classic.
oink.
I don't know.
The pay pigs
Trotsky?
in the chat go oink oink oink. Despun key fi.
Not not bad enough.
I prefer someone a bit badder.
Okay.
Because let's be honest, right? Anyone who has tapped Frida Kahlo, you've got to be like, you know what? I respect that. I respect the game.
Right.
You know.
All right. Let's see. Think of a baddie. There's so many in history. It's hard to choose. How about General Custer?
I'll finger Custer. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. We're fingering Custer.
What's this we stuff? It's your finger.
Well, with the royal we.
Oh, yes. Because those pronouns are fine.
Yeah, exactly. Those are absolutely fine.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I thought there were only 2 genders, but then there's a royal we. So how does that work?
This. I mean, it would cost a fortune, right? But I'm prepared, as the taxpayer in the UK, to fund this, just to boil the piss of every right winger. Because you know how, every prison is called HMP, which stands for either His Majesty's Prison or Her Majesty's Prison, depending on the gender of the person who's the king or queen at the time. What about if the next one decides to get neo-pronouns? What about if we have a Z-zer? Right? I'm more than happy to change all of the signage outside all of like, the prisons and the post offices and everything to ZMP. No, XMP. For Zer's Majesty's Prison. I'm more than happy to do that. That, I think, is very much worthwhile because fuck them, they're a bunch of cunts.
I have a question. Do you know anyone who actually uses Zer or anything that's...
I know they, thems.
Yeah, me too. I only know they, them.
I don't know a Zer, no. That is a stiff dick. I know Mix Vivian Wolf.
Oh, yes.
MX.
But that's like MX versus MS or MR.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was just curious because I was thinking about it because people, oh, there's so many pronouns, but I honestly don't hear.
Oh, even better, right? They'd have to. They'd have to, right? They'd have to have like an electron. They'd have to change it to electronic signage. Have a gender fluid monarch, and then depending on how they feel at any given time, they have to change the pronouns on all the signage.
To be accurate.
Exactly.
And the money.
Yeah, exactly.
And the post office.
Yeah, I'm feeling quite femme tonight, so it's FMP or whatever. Yeah, that brilliant. That's the way it has to happen. Anyway, apparently Journey. I know a few Zers and Zerzers.
Okay.
I don't know that one, but okay.
I think you just fix that honestly by getting a digital display.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. Electronic signage, piece of piss. Yeah, no need to worry then. Anyway, thank you to Sibwall for resubscribing. Thank you to Lord Fritos for gifting a sub to Lefty Conspirator. Thank you to Ico Rules for raiding in. Hello there, Ico. How are you? Everyone go and follow Ico Rules. A person who I've not been in contact with for a little while because they usually stream at times where I'm asleep. Because they're a night owl, but they're a night owl in America. So I'm a night owl 5 hours ahead, which means I'm asleep when they stream. If that makes sense. So we're like no, what do you call it? Synchronized or whatever.
But on the to the opposite.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So but everyone go and follow Ico. They do good streams and much better than mine. And thank you, Lord Fritos, for gifting us up to Ico Rules. I've got to go and finger General Costa. Yeah. And obviously, as an Irishman, it won't be. I'm a person of colour, so it won't be the first time he's been fucked by someone of colour. Just saying, lad. You got done. You got fucked over. Very funny.
You been bit.
Exactly.
You bit.
Oh yes, you've got the Mike punching the couch emote. Oh, that's dope. Fuck yes. That is dope. Yeah, everyone go and follow Ico for the couch punching emotes. Fuck yeah. Yes. Thank you to Vicky Clee. I've got a rap now. Oh fuck.
Yeah. Get out the words for the hip happy don't stop.
And thank you, Elliot, for 5 gifted memberships on YouTube. Much love. Someone to get that for me and I'll do it. I don't know. Anyway, we're currently watching. we were half an hour ago. Watching Stephen Fry talk shit because it's a massive cock piece of garbage. Yeah.
Yep. At least it's put forward as the most important thing. Free speech is the shining summit.
It's more important than healthcare. It's more important than a living wage.
Yeah, to quote the magnificent Manic Street Preachers, freedom of speech won't feed my children.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, how fucking privileged do you have to be to think like freedom of speech is like the most important thing that you can have? Like, no, like actual human rights, basic human rights, like survival comes first.
A homeless person has freedom of speech. Ask them how much they're enjoying their fucking life.
Yep. Yes.
Which a nation must, bend its efforts and to which we must all climb. And finally, we've got there. Our speech is entirely free. Is that really the golden? Is that the golden point? I don't think it is. The golden point is something else: comity, amity, happiness, joy, friendship, all the things that are really very difficult to achieve. And free speech is one of the routes that you get to, isn't it? I mean, I'm suggesting this.
How do I feel about Israel closing its embassy in Ireland? Well, it's very interesting to see all of the accusations of racism that Israel make, given that they've invented a new phrase which the Irish people have taken on board. They've been referring to Irish people this week as Palestinians.
Wow.
Pretty racist. But the Irish went, we'll have that. Yes. So they've been referring to themselves as Palestinians. It's good. Yeah, no, fuck them. The Irish probably should have kicked out the embassy themselves. To be honest, I think that the British should. I think we should kick out, not out of Ireland. We should kick the Israeli ambassador out of the UK. Why are we having genocidal freaks on our soil? Why is that okay? What was that noise? A noise happened.
Oh, we had a bink.
Thank you, Seamstress Dragon, who said, enjoying the stream on my day off. Don't have pigs on the panto. What? But we have sequined chickens. So cluck, 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 despunkify, smiley with That's fucking weird and I love it. Thank you. Thank you. And what was this? Okay, this is a kink one for you, I think.
Oh, okay. Thanks.
So I'll read out Stephen Fry and you can read out the other bit.
Okay.
Oh dear, oh my, oh heavens, bless my soul, oh lord, heck.
The British twink I've been edging for the last 40 minutes. That's funny.
Oh golly, oh no, I'm about to arrive. Oh no. See, arrive. That's
yes.
the posh way of saying it. So, I'm very clever. Anyway, yes. We were doing this, I think. We'll probably get through about 7 minutes of it as usual.
It's
I
absolutely
think you're
true.
making really good points in some ways, and some I disagree, and here's why. I think that what you're talking about is that free speech in and
By the
of
way,
itself.
him going, oh my, oh gosh, oh no, was his reaction to finding out the Queen had died?
Oh, really? That was it?
Yeah. Because he's like a big royalist guy.
Again, marked down.
So, he's so leftist.
Does not produce a good society.
Yeah. Although presumably you're okay with that because you like Germans occupying British soil.
Hey, you guys picked the win. Like you guys picked the Germans to come rule over you. Don't look at me. You handed them the power. This is on you.
Yeah, true. Look, we thought the Saxe-Coburg Gothers were from Essex.
You just kept inviting all these Germans over. You didn't have William of Orange as well. You just kept importing.
Well, to be fair, we did not invite William of Orange.
Oh, okay.
He arrived
Queen Anne.
He arrived with a fucking navy up the Thames, like.
Okay, but isn't Queen Anne? Wasn't she? Anyway, yeah.
Yeah, no, we just went. Oh fuck it, here, go on then. Like, we tried having actual English kings, and he went mental. So, fuck him.
Get some foreigners in.
It's like they kept chopping heads off and stuff. It was mad. Yeah.
I think that's true. The question, though, is, you said offense is not a crime.
Yeah.
But in a society that tries to regulate through the law, as ours increasingly does, I would put it to you, what people say to produce friendliness and amity and all these other things,
Can you pause
you
it?
end up with a sort of situation.
Germans, it's actually against the law to tell someone to go fuck themselves.
See, I think that's wrong. I think that's too far.
But you know what? You can live in a society where that exists, and you know what? It's not an oppressive society.
Yeah.
It's hard to enforce.
Yeah, it is, but you're still more free than most people who have ever lived.
Yes, exactly.
Do you think you could just go up to the king in the ancient world and go, "You're a prick, mate"? No. Whereas in Germany, you can say Angela Merkel's a dickhead.
Yeah, a person commits the criminal code if a person verbally abuses another or says something to call the other person worthless. And Germans aren't just screaming for a lack of freedom of speech to be mean to each other.
To be fair, there are lots of German people who are worthless, though.
You just can't say
They
it.
support Bayern Munich. Oh! Thank you. Flint Reed says, "Can we have more Christy Sheezing?
Cheesing? What?
Sheezing. 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 Please."
Is that saying sheesh? Sheesh.
Okay, I'm going to web search on my other screen.
Is that just like a Wisconsin
just in case.
thing?
Welcome to Sheezing Collection. Urban Dictionary. Sheezing, a form of G's or yees, depending on who you are. An exclamation of frustration, annoyance, or disappointment.
Yeah, it's a very Wisconsin cheese.
I don't think that's what... When did you do that, though?
I don't know, probably at some point in this show because of Stephen Fry being a dickhead or something.
Okay, well, yeah, well, we can say... Yeah, we can get her sheezing. Oh, sorry, sneezing. I meant to say sneezing.
Oh, my little ka-choo!
Yeah. Oh, honest to God, the woman who I had a crush on as a kid, my English teacher, when I was at high school, had the most annoying sneeze ever.
How do you have an annoying sneeze? What is that like?
Right, it was because she'd talk normal and all the rest of it, and then she'd do this thing where, and honest to God, it would go on. I won't do it for as long as she did, but it would go on for 30 seconds plus. Instead of letting out just a normal sneeze, she wanted to appear more femme or guess or whatever, and she just go,
okay.
Achoo, 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 achoo. And you're just like, I'm trying to write a fucking essay, man. Shut the fuck up. God. Anyway, so that was annoying. Anyway, yeah, ladies, just let it out. Honestly, it's fine. Also, I don't get let out a ripping fart as well. It's good to know you ate well. It's all good.
I'm keep farts in the bathroom. Generally, yeah, I'm a keep farts in the bathroom kind of person.
Well, you are Gen X, so.
Yeah, I really don't want to. I don't want to sit in your ass air. Like, you don't want to sit in ass water. I don't want to sit in someone else's ass air.
Right, but I'm not on about you can fart.
Of course, I can.
Well then.
And I do when I'm on my own.
But hang on, so you don't want to enforce your own fart air on someone else?
Yeah, and I don't want to smell.
See,
that
this is the
fart
problem
air.
with the modern generation.
No, why would you?
It's an act of marking territory, Christy.
Yeah, it's the bathroom.
This is my
territory.
space.
It's impolite to make other people smell the inside of your colon. I'm gonna stand on that. That's gonna be my. I'm gonna keep that position.
See, and this is why Western civilization is dying, because we don't have enough forced colon sniffing.
That we have in this country with the police routinely knocking on people's doors for a tweet.
Yeah.
And
What? They're not routinely
knocking.
knocking. Can you pause it? Fucking the police routinely knocking on people's doors. What a load of shit.
He's referring, I think, to the people who have been arrested and convicted for organising race pogroms.
Yeah.
Literally, the people who have been arrested were those trying to organise bands of fucking thugs to go and burn down hotels filled with refugees. That's what he's referring to here. It's not just someone going, oh, you're a dickhead on Twitter. Because trust me, as a person who regularly refers to people in horrific ways on, well, not on Twitter anymore, but like on social media, I don't get arrested for it. It's actually fine. It's if you try and organise fucking riots.
And it was here. A 55-year-old woman from near Chester was arrested earlier today on suspicion of publishing written material to stir up racial hatred and false communications.
Yeah, exactly.
This is not people. The fucking. You know what? I would take the right wing more seriously if they didn't lie all the fucking time about fucking everything.
True. And quite rightly, Cathay points out, Kev, you are a dickhead.
Yeah.
Which is true. Which is true. Colon is very close to Cologne.
But it's not eau de Cologne.
No, and there are millions of colons in Cologne.
Yeah, there are.
Yeah.
They're all over the world, actually.
True. Just think about that. Do you know there are over 8 million buttholes in the world?
Yeah.
Mad.
And probably like at least a quarter of them are farting as we speak.
Oh, that's so much gas.
Yeah. There's
honestly, we don't need to get rid of the cows. We need to get rid of the people.
Yeah. We're blowing ourselves out.
Yeah.
Calling card for a lot of people, especially in America, is that contrast. And they're going, well, if this is the choice, if I get to live either in a society where the police will knock on my door or in a society where
God, you're such a lying
says
sack
what
of
they
shit.
want, and it's pretty ugly.
Yeah.
I'd rather the ugly but free world than the artificial.
Of course you would, because you're a fucking fascist. I would rather live in a place where people can threaten others and make them feel unsafe if they're the dominant, people in power, than to live in a society where everyone has a basic ability to go about and not fear for their safety or their dignity.
Yeah.
How selfish are you? What a fucking prick are you to say, I'd rather live in a shittier world than a better world. Over a lie that you've just invented.
Yeah.
Fuck you. Fuck this guy.
Seamstress points out that I wrongly said 8 million rather than 8 billion. But I was still technically correct. There are over 8 million buttholes.
Yeah.
Just
there's a total of
over 1,000 times more. Yeah. Literally.
This white guy, by the way, is loving it that a brown guy is lifting his white supremacist hate flag for him.
True. Also, how free is America exactly? When, again, to bring up Colin Kaepernick for the second time in this show, he took a knee entirely peacefully, not hurting a single soul in the world.
Nope.
And the President of the United States led a hate campaign to ensure that he can never work again.
Yep. Like, literally, it wasn't even on the field.
Yeah. Ridiculous.
The game hadn't even started. He was still in his own time.
Yep. Absolutely mad.
Is that the kind of society you want to live in? Where you get to bully people out of their free speech if you have enough power?
But that's
and hate?
Yeah, but that's the freedoms.
The tyranny of the majority? That's the kind of for society you want to live in? You piece of shit.
By the state.
I agree. I wonder if that's a false choice, though. I mean, it's a bit like saying either you don't allow arms or you allow arms. The gun laws in America. Well, yes, but you don't allow individual citizens to own belt-fed mortars and nuclear weapons. So there is a limit you put on the arms they can own. There is that's what lawmaking is about. It's about saying thus far and no farther.
Right, but I've literally heard people say that you should be able to own nuclear weapons.
Yeah.
And also, honestly, it's still my favourite example of the way in which libertarianism is brain cancer. I remember discussing, I was on some panel or another, and it was something to do with like gun crime in America and whatever. So that was being discussed, and this libertarian said, "Oh, there should be. It says in the Constitution, shall not be infringed. So we should be able to own anything. If you can afford a nuclear bomb, you should be able to own one." And then I said, "Well, how does that work with like the non-aggression principle?" And he said, "What do you mean?" I said, "Well, if someone transgresses against you, you're allowed to use force. So is there a level of force that one could potentially use that would entitle you to drop a nuclear bomb on them?" And they said, "Yeah, literally any amount of force." So I said, if they damage your property to any extent, like if they tread on your lawn without permission, that would entitle you to drop a nuclear bomb on their house. And he logically worked it through and went, yes.
By the way, I just want to point out that in the United States, I'm looking at CBS News right now reporting in 2024. Note that in the United States, fireworks that contain more than 50 milligrams of pyrotechnic material are banned at the federal level.
So shall not be infringed.
These days, if you incite a race riot
but,
and lie
you can
about
go out and get
refugees
an
doing
AR-15.
crime, you get arrested and thrown in jail.
Mad.
Also amazing how none of them
Hang on
brought
one
up
second.
how police in the US seem to kill lots of innocent people, even in their homes.
Very true, Kieran. Yes, very true. The police do kill lots of people. I mean, I've literally well, I suppose you'll have to watch it on the stream, but I've got that as my opening meme bit, which is I can just describe it for those who are just listening. It's the photo of Luigi Mangione, if you'll allow me to be a bit racist for a second, being perp walked in New York with fucking 50 police officers, even though he's like fucking
one guy
12 stone in wet, like ridiculous nonsense, right? And so someone said this is like the hardest rap album ever, and it's black and whited with the bar over his eyes and the parental advisory sticker, and it really is. It's like they're trying to fucking make him seem like the coolest badass ever. They're making him into a fucking cult leader. Amazing. Anyway, what was the point? What did I respond to initially? I've totally forgotten what I was saying.
I don't know. I don't keep track of everything you say.
I don't know. Someone in chat will remind me. Anyway, no, that was it. The police thing, right? And I was thinking to myself, there's one person in that image that's killed one person. And I'd imagine it's the person in that picture that has killed the least number of people.
Yeah, just the one.
Yeah. All of those motherfuckers have been have killed multiple people, multiple innocent people, and probably some dogs, and maybe beat up their wife and raped somebody. But they're the good guys, apparently.
Yeah, again, it was like, I know some Europeans who are just like, it's not good to kill people. What is happening with America? I'm like, yeah, well, if you kill people by PDF, that's not considered violence. in America. If you shoot someone, it is.
Yeah, exactly.
But both are forms of violence.
Yeah. What is this? Who gave Luigi the fade? Oh yeah, he got a haircut, didn't he? Someone gave him a fucking fade haircut. Apparently he's like a fucking hero in the prison or some shit as well, which is sort of funny.
Y'all see what I see? Who gave Luigi the fade? What barber gave him the fade? Y'all, you know what? I'm done. I got what?
It's a fair point. Also, just while we're there, those are some images from yesterday's stream. It doesn't need context.
Oh, okay. Sure.
It doesn't need context.
Is that the 1970s?
No, technically 1981. That's the Finnish entrant to
Eurovision
Song Contest.
Okay.
A white guy doing reggae.
Oh God. Before snow.
Finnish white guy reggae.
Okay.
A thing that no one asked for. And no one needed or wanted. It came third from bottom. Anyway.
And unfortunately, people tend to come out with slippery slope arguments, which are fallacies, or at least always were fallacies. It's one of the primary Aristotelian logical fallacies, the slippery slope. Yet people use it all. Oh, once you go down that path. Well, we're human beings and we have will. Once we go down that path, we stop, or the path bifurcates, or we make another choice. We rethink. It's very easy for the rhetoric to run away with itself.
Absolutely.
When it comes to these extremes.
But what I'm saying is, I don't think in the UK now we are in the realm of rhetoric anymore.
No, I agree.
You must be very uncomfortable with
one lady gets arrested for racial shit online, and now everyone's like, "Oh my God, you can't even be racist online anymore." Fucking yeah, you can't stir up racial hatred online. Yeah. That's not a bad thing.
True.
Oh, absolutely. It's just absurd. Absolutely absurd. And I spent, I'm not wishing to paint myself as a hero, but there was a case I went...
But I'm about to.
Say what it was.
Yeah, exactly.
I insisted on it being private, but I intervened and paid for somebody's legal fees all the way to a judge in a high court because they were threatened with prison for a tweet. An innocent joke. It was ridiculous. And I said, look, I got in touch with his lawyer and said, I'll fund his case, because I really thought it was absurd. But then at the same time, I didn't want to do it publicly because it looked like a
coward.
gesture and a posting and so on. But
okay, but you have just revealed it, so
yeah, exactly. So you're like humble bragging?
Yeah. So, but doing it worse, because now you're like, not only am I so badass that I funded this thing, but I'm so badass I didn't want people to know that I was funding it, because I'm that fucking cool.
Yeah, and I'm gonna tell you,
I didn't realise you could suck your own dick that far back. That is impressive. For an old man, he's got a very flexible spine.
yes, it does matter to me that things have become absurd. But what it's the equivalent of, it seems to me, is the Victorians arresting someone for saying arse in the theatre. Things they did. Because the Victorians had their own political correctness. We wasn't called that, their own wokeness, whatever.
Shut the fuck up. Stop taking black culture's words and misusing them, white man.
For shizzle.
God dang it.
See what I did? I used a black cultural word to agree with you that I shouldn't do that. I'm so fucking clever.
And it was at its most extreme. We laugh at the fact they covered up piano legs. But people weren't allowed to say certain things. They just weren't. They couldn't say them in the theatre, they couldn't say them in public, they couldn't say them in print. They'd be arrested for either sexual, usually, references that...
Okay, but again, I just say to the people that are these free speech absolutists, there's never been a time in human history where there weren't repercussions for speech. You live in a time which has a time and a place, let's say, because there are still very restrictive countries. But you live in a time and a place where there are the fewest possible restrictions of virtually any society in human history. You are a fucking whiny little bitch.
Yeah, and also we're not talking about arresting someone for saying ass in the theater, are we?
No.
We're talking about the dehumanization of people, which we know leads to things like genocide.
Yeah.
And violence, just attacks in the streets and dehumanization and threats.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So this has nothing to do with anything, actually.
Indeed so. Hello there to... Hang on, who Boy Meets Minnie. Everyone going follow Boy Meets Minnie. And also, hello there, Mr. Peter Wood. Mr. Peter Wood. Just because I wanted to say that bit.
Found utterly distasteful and wrong, morally wrong to them. Or occasionally political ones, political sedition and pamphleting and so on was punished very, very severely indeed. There was no free speech in this particular area. And it loosened. It loosened after the First World War in particular. But nonetheless, it carried over to my youth. If I was in the company of a great aunt, there's certain things I wouldn't say.
You still do that.
What is
he talking about?
I'm not sure, Kristen. I'm not sure.
Yeah, you don't need laws to make things socially unacceptable. And yes, we all have like our private language, and then we also have our professional language and the things that we say around our family, and that can vary by family. But what does this have to do with the fake, the lie he told that police are knocking on people's doors because of tweets, when it was one woman who was actually stirring up violated the law?
Yeah.
He didn't talk about the fact that she violated a criminal statute, did he? No, it was just tweeting something on social media. Like, it was all so innocent.
Yeah, exactly. Also, the reason I think that he didn't want to come out and say, "Oh, I've defended this person, I've paid,"
because it was a piece of shit.
Because they would probably said something genuinely awful.
Yeah.
And you'd have to defend the thing.
Yep.
Whereas now, just with it being a nebulous, I supported the freedoms of the speeches, you don't have to defend whatever racist or sexist thing was actually said.
Probably transphobic.
Probably, yeah.
Would be so rude and so unpleasant. And I sometimes think the same when I'm in a taxi and the driver says, "God, Stephen, you can't say anything these days, can you?" And I want to say to him, here you're in a safe space, as people like to say. You're in a cab with me. You can say anything.
Oh, really?
What is there that you wanted to say in the past, in the last month?
You want to say the N-word? Go on and say it.
You haven't
been
able to say. No, but you know what I mean. No, tell me. Say it, because it's absolutely safe. It will go no further. Well, and they won't say. Because they know what they want to say is actually disgusting, probably, to most people. It's a joke of some sexual nature or racial nature that is actually the equivalent of saying "cut to your great aunt." It's just bad manners. It really is that simple. It's terrible manners.
I call my dad a cunt regularly. That's a term of endearment in Ireland. We talk
in this case, he is kind of, in a very weak way, smacking down their whining.
Very tentatively.
Very gently, basically saying society has always had rules, whether or not they're legally enforced, that restrict the kinds of speech you say. And also, all these people like who do complain that they can't say what they want to say. What they want to say are horrible things that dehumanize people. Where's that clip of the white guy going, "Well, I can't say the N-word," and the black man, I can't remember, he's an actor now. I don't know if this is like a setup bit or an actual thing that happened in real life. And he's like, "Say it."
Can you not play with dice, please?
Sorry, but I like my dice.
Okay, but not right next to the fucking microphone. Anyway,
they're pretty. And he's like, of course you can say it. It's a free country, but of course they don't want they want to be able to say it, but not have any of the social consequences.
Yeah.
They feel like having social consequences is somehow an oppression and not just a common courtesy.
Yeah. So apparently, according to Morinaka, and that's the only source I have for this, apparently the tweet that in question that he was paying for the defense of was, quote, "Crap, Robin Hood Airport is closed. You've got a week, otherwise I'm blowing the airport sky high."
And how does Robin Narca? Who was that? Monarch, how does they know that's that particular tweet? Did it come out later? The person who got arrested for threatening to blow up an airport online?
Yeah, you will get arrested for that.
This video is
that's not
Squarespace.
That's not like controversial, really.
They have signs in the airport at TSA saying, "Do not joke about having bombs."
No, don't do that.
We will have to take it seriously.
Yeah, we will investigate your anal crevasse.
It's one thing if you said it to a friend over the phone. It's another thing if you put it on social fucking media, you moron.
Yeah, that's honestly. I mean, I don't think they need to be thrown away. Lock them up and throw away the key. But like, as a warning to other people, give them a month inside. Just like you can't don't be fucking stupid.
Don't threaten to blow up airports.
Yeah, don't do that. Just don't fucking do it. That's actually unacceptable. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you obviously can joke about it in certain situations, but if you're on social media, don't say, "Oh, I'm going to do a terrorism."
Yeah. You're basically confessing to a crime.
Yeah, that's.
And then they're going to go, "Yeah, it was a joke, dude. We don't know you.
Yeah.
We don't know that you're joking."
Also, do you think that the other people who are terrorists might then go, "I was just joking, lads." Oh, fair enough then. You know.
I will bet anything that this was a white guy.
Oh, of course it fucking was.
It was just a joke, mate.
Imagine if a Muslim said this.
Yes.
I don't think Stephen Fry and his ilk would have been jumping in to fucking defend him.
Yep.
In all honesty. Ridiculous.
They don't have that privilege.
Yeah.
It's inconsiderate to speak like that to people who are going to be. And yes, I said, so what if you're offended? But at the same time, you recognise it. And a decent person doesn't want to offend people.
Mm-hmm.
Well, why would you need to do that? So,
can I just push back there? It's
I
don't
want to offend
people, but sometimes, Stephen, the truth is offensive.
Yes, it can be.
And the offence is just a byproduct of you being honest.
Okay, but like, firstly, you're not honest. I've watched your show loads of times. And secondly, again, this is the facts don't care about your feelings, fuck your feelings thing. But again, it's fuck your feelings. My feelings matter and need to be handled delicately. Your feelings can go fuck themselves. It's just white privilege repackaged.
Yes, and here's the thing: like, science confirms there are not only two genders. Chromosomally, in terms of how they're expressed, in terms of like how the genes are expressed with intersex people. Gender is a social construct. Pronouns are social constructs. These aren't facts.
Yeah, exactly.
These are things we make up in order to organize a society.
I'm going to go the other way with it. Not only are there not two genders, there are no genders. I just blew your fucking mind.
There you go. Gender is actually a thing that we've invented to organize the world. It doesn't exist independent of. Like, reproduction happens in a lot of ways, and there is sexual reproduction, but that doesn't limit the expression of a sexual nature, right? Yeah. So these people always think they're fact-based, but really what they are is just prejudice-based. Or oftentimes they're they're not well enough educated to understand that things are complicated.
True. Also, the thing that annoys me, and this is what they really want, is that they don't just want their right to say a thing. They want you not to be able to call them out for it. They want consequence-free speech.
Yes, always.
So, like, when you use your free speech to tell your uncomfortable truths, I can then say, fuck off. And that you don't get to go, that's cancel culture. No, I've got my free speech. Get the fuck out of my face. Go away. I don't want to talk to you. You're a prick.
Yeah, like they want to march without, open-faced as Nazis in the streets and then go to their employer and be like, I want to represent your company. Yeah,
there are always going to be consequences. There have always been consequences. Free speech is not absolute. It cannot be absolute because your absolute free speech impinges upon my absolute freedom of speech. Whereas, if we all come to an agreement that we have sensible restrictions on it to protect people from the worst excesses and abuses, we can all get on and just say our piece, and I can say my piece, and then you can go fuck yourself.
Yeah, oftentimes people think that somehow their existence, like I've said this before, but their existence isn't offensive to anybody. Yeah. When is Christians don't realize how fucking annoying they are.
Yeah, exactly.
They don't realize the rest of us tolerate their bullshit all the time.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, that's the thing. This whole right-wing fucking media hate machine, you know, there are two genders, male and political. There are two races, white and political. You know, it's that thing.
Well, I pointed out, you know, like multiple times now, that the nativity scene to me is a child bride who has been trafficked and is being exploited by a pedophile. That is what I see when you show me a nativity. And yet, people put it up in their yards, and I tolerate it, even though I find it, like, really fucking sus and disgusting.
Well, to be fair, Joseph wasn't the pedophile, it was God. And that's definitely the way it happened, honest.
Well, by tradition, Joseph was, like, in his mid-30s. He's actually, like, pictured with gray in his
but it's not his kid.
No, but he went on to have more kids with her.
He's the godcock.
He's that, too. And yeah, their God basically, like, you know, didn't the idea of having a consent from an adult woman who understands what she's doing somehow is beyond your God. Like, your God doesn't understand the concept of consent. Well, of course not, because your God saw women as property.
Yeah.
Right. And the most important thing was she had to be young so that we'd be ensure that she was a virgin.
True.
Right? Because youth equals virginity, and so
once
get them young.
Once they get past the age of 13, they're all slags.
Yep.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah. Yeah. But that's wholesome. Silent Night, child bride, exploited, makes me cry.
True. Also, if your dad's God, I reckon he can get a room. If he wants to, he could sort out a hotel room.
He could definitely use some pulls, get some pull in there.
In Bethlehem, the place that they definitely had to go to for that census that definitely happened in ancient Rome. Yes.
What kind of fucking, you know, like shitty father are you that, you know, you're not even there for the birth of your child, and you leave her to like give birth with some animals?
Technically, he was there because God's everywhere.
Yeah, but you know he wasn't, because he like otherwise he'd get her better rooms, like you said. Like she shouldn't be in a fucking stable with horses.
He was video conferencing.
Yeah.
You know, he was remotely working. He had other shit to look. He had to punish some gay people in China at the time. Come on now. Yeah, Marcus. I pointed that out earlier. His disgusting comments about child abuse and how the self-pitying thing. Like, what the fuck? You're gross, dude. Like, surely if there's one thing we can all agree on, we should be very delicate with like people who've been abused, especially children.
Yes.
But he's just gone. Nah, they're all self-pitying pricks.
Fuck off, mate.
You're an absolute fucking schmunter.
Yeah.
That's a word I just
schmunter.
Invented. Schmunter. It sounds German. Oh my god, this is amazing. See, this is my religion. I've decided. This is the nativity scene I celebrate. Henry Hoovers. Fuck yes.
What am I looking at?
That's two Henry Hoovers as Mary and Joseph.
Oh yeah, the Henrys. Yes, of course.
I think is that 3 wise toasters. I think as well, which is nice.
I had to blow that up to 200, but now I see it. Actually, the way that the head thing's going sits perfectly.
Yeah. That is.
What's baby Jesus? A walkie-talkie or like a?
I can't. Is it another little Henry Hoover?
Is it like a handheld one?
Yeah, the little mini Henry Hoover, I think. Unbelievable. Yeah, that's definitely. Oh, so no, there are 3, and then there's a pig kettle.
Yeah, pig kettle.
Obviously, yeah. There you go.
It's 2, and then there's a pig like pot. Oh, that's a toaster.
So you get 3 wise toasters, Christy. Come on.
Yeah.
Now.
Yes.
And then a pig, and so that's.
And then you've got a kettle on the top for some reason.
The real reason for the season.
Yep.
Fuck yes.
There you go, Henry.
But apparently, Greg's making Jesus into a sausage roll is offensive. Still the funniest thing. What did they think they were doing? Like, you understand that character is Jewish, right? Why are you making him into a fucking pork sausage roll? It's very weird.
You know, it's the way that, like, the fact that Jesus lived his entire life and died as a practicing Jewish man doesn't seem to register with Christians.
No.
They just kind of erase his Judaism. And like, yeah, he was kind of Jewish, but really he's the son of God.
Well, the first several generations of Christians just thought of themselves as the next step in Judaism.
Yeah, they were just like a sect of Judaism. They thought the Messiah had come. They thought that like Romans were going to get kicked out. And God was going to establish his kingdom on earth in Jerusalem and let the Jews rule everything and run everything through his awesome power. And then that didn't fucking happen. Because, like...
No, unfortunately, it wasn't a vegan sausage roll. It was not an epic dub.
No.
Although, of course, the baby Jesus did hawk tour on that thing until on that bussy until it clapped.
Oh, did you see the article that I sent you?
Which one?
The one about the Hoktua people being sued?
Yes, yeah. That's the least surprising thing ever. She did like kind of steal like $2 million.
She's not named in it. It's just all the people like who set up her coin and used her fame. And so they're the ones, like the guy probably who was swearing at CoffeeZilla. He's the one who's named in the suit. So
Kevin inventing Yiddish words in 2024. Schmonte does sound a bit Yiddish.
Yeah, it does have a kind of Yiddish vibe to it.
True.
Like schmeckel.
I agree.
Or one of my favourite sort of traditionally Jewish name, Shmuley.
Shmuley?
Shmuley. Oh, it's lovely. And it's such a shame because the quote unquote rabbi Shmuley Butayok.
Oh, okay.
It's a lovely name, but he's a fucking mentalist.
Okay.
He's the one who invented the titty football.
What?
Oh god. He claimed that the October the 7th thing, the Hamases.
Yeah.
He made up a lie, which he's repeated several times, that they cut off women's breasts and played football with them.
Oh, okay. Oh, great. Okay.
Is that how tits work?
Nope.
Anyway. But he has a cool name.
I agree.
That was just
Shmuley,
the point.
bad person, fun name.
Most of the time, you're able to temper your speech according to the person you're speaking to. In the same way that you dress according to, the situation.
Well, we've both failed on that front.
You happen to have done, exactly.
Yes.
But, you go for a job interview or you go to a club where they insist on wearing a tie, which I've got a lunch here later, and you accept. That's the les règles des jeux, the rules of the game.
See, throw in some foreign language stuff and you sound really smart. But actually what they're describing is just code switching. Yeah, like people act differently in different situations as would be appropriate. Yeah, each human is in their own way a social chameleon.
Yep.
This is a thing you work out when you're all 6, 7 years old.
When you realize that what you say in the playground, you don't say in the classroom.
Exactly. When you realise that if you say a swear word in front of your dad, he's going to knock you the fuck out. But if you say it in front of your friends, they all think you're fucking awesome.
Yep. It's cool.
Yeah. So but they're discussing this like this is some great philosophical discussion, and it's it's just three guys like it's a circle jerk. It's just a circle jerk.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
But not as fun. One of the first things like you learn as a kid is what the things you can and can't say. Right? What is appropriate and inappropriate to say.
Yeah.
Also, don't touch yourself in public. Or don't grab your don't touch your private parts.
My mum
digging your butt while you're out in public and smell your finger. Like that's also not.
I think my mum's the phrase my mum used to me more than any other as a child was, "Get your hand off your tiggly," which was her phrase for penis.
Yeah.
Because apparently it was comforting. Just grab it. Yeah.
Yeah,
I sometimes still do that. If I'm having a tense moment, I will just sometimes grab my dick. It's
like a little good luck.
It's comforting.
Like a little rabbit's foot.
Yeah, it's less of the little. Like a massive rabbit's foot.
Like a massive rabbit's foot.
Yeah.
Like a lucky rabbit's foot.
Yeah, exactly.
And without it, then the game won't work. But that is the everyday experience of most people. They they're not going to be rude for any, just for the sake of it, because I can be, and I'm.
Yes, they are. Literally, their show is called Trigonometry. Yeah. The whole point of Triggered is they were literally doing things to make people offended. That's the entire point of like modern conservatism, is just to be offensive for the sake of it.
Yeah, because you're privileged usually, or you're associating yourself. You're like a person who's joined in, and you want to be one of the boys, right? And you want to be part of the club. So you basically, the whole point of it is to insult other people so that you feel powerful. They're bullies.
Yeah.
You're basically talking to bullies and explaining to them why you shouldn't be bullies, and they're like, yeah, but we want to be bullies.
Yeah. It says my right to be a bully shall not be infringed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Get your hand off my tiggly.
I've got the right to be, so I'm going to say this about Jews, or this about Islamic people, or this about gay people.
You literally had dinner with your man, who literally said that life should be made more difficult for Muslims.
Mm-hmm. And that England should be culturally Christian.
Yeah, like
get rid of the religion, but keep all the other stuff of Christian. What the fuck does that even mean?
It doesn't mean anything. They just want to be cunts.
Yep.
They just want to be cunts. So actually, like you literally do, Douglas Murray is a person who goes out of his way to be offensive in any number of ways. Go fuck yourself, mate. You know, you associate yourselves with people who are doing the very thing you say people don't do.
Don't do, yeah.
I'm going to say this. All right, if you must, fine. But I'm going to think very poorly of you. I'm going to think you're an utter asshole.
That's cancel culture, though.
Yeah, Stephen, don't you understand how cancel culture works?
Can't you take a joke?
Yeah, can't we just laugh at people and still be like, be bullies and be accepted?
Exactly.
But you're going to be mean to me now.
If you mess with those dice again, I'm going to actually come.
Do what?
I'm going to, let's say,
RAF2
Electric Boogaloo.
Is that what it's going to take to get you to Cologne? Is to play with my dice?
I'm not going to land though, Christy. I'll be dropping off a few of my friends, my highly explosive friends. Because honestly, that cathedral, that shouldn't be there.
It's really pretty.
It is really pretty, but it should have been turned into dust.
I have to say, as I was at the residence, it was all recreationist, but still, I walked in and went, wow, these people had way too much money and time on their hands. Like, people were living in fucking, like, mud houses and wood houses, and meanwhile, you have a doorway large enough for a carriage to drive through so that people don't have to walk in the rain.
Yeah, literally, I had the same feeling going into Westminster Abbey. A genuinely stunning building. Stunning building. Yeah. And you think to yourself, this was built, and not just like the original one, which wasn't as big, like this actual edifice was built at a time when people were literally living in shit and twig houses.
Yes.
Like, what the fuck is going on?
Yes.
Like, the ceilings are like fucking 50 feet in the air.
Oh, at least.
Mad.
And, this was, I don't know if it was actual gold leaf. It might have just been painted gold because they didn't have the budget for it and they're just replicating it. But, at the time, this was hand-painted art. It was plaster that was handcrafted and, gold leaf shit all over the place. Oh, and the staircase. We just bumped into a tour guide who was explaining that the staircase as you walk from, like, where the carriages pull in to the actual residence of the residence, the steps were measured to be the height and length so that the queen could very, like, fluidly walk up and down them. They were built custom to her.
So everyone else was tripping up and looking like a twat.
Well, I mean, she must have been about my height because it was very comfortable for me to walk down the steps.
Fair. Well, you are a queen, after all.
Yeah, well, thank you.
He narrated the Harry Potter... Oh, yeah, because he loves transphobes, doesn't he?
Mm-hmm.
But actually, on a point of old people who are British cultural institutions voicing children's shows, tenuous, but I'm going with it. This week, I told my people about looking after my niece on, was it Wednesday or whatever? Or Tuesday. We watched a number of kid shows, including a show that I loved as a kid, which was the original, none of this modern nonsense, the original Ringo Starr voiced Thomas the Tank Engine.
Oh, wow.
And I got to introduce my niece, who is 3, to that. And I was, honestly, it was a genuinely proud moment, because I fucking love that show. Technically, it was created before I was born.
Yeah, but you saw it on, like, repeat or whatever.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. So it was like, it was like a genuine, touching across the generations thing. It was, time stood still, Christy. It was a beautiful thing.
Aw, nice.
Anyway.
But if you've got important things to say, much as I don't agree with almost everything he stands for, if Nigel Farage wants to talk about immigration in certain ways, that he's got every right to as a politician.
Right. Who has stopped him from doing that?
Yeah.
He's literally in Parliament, where there are no infringements at all, except, of course, you can't say that someone is a stool pigeon.
Yeah, Stephen, why don't you defend all the people who say, I don't know, like gay people shouldn't exist and we should have forced conversion and gay people are perverts who don't deserve a place in society. Defend those people, not Farage and his anti-immigrants, because that doesn't affect you. That doesn't touch you. I want to hear you defend horrible things from people who think that you shouldn't exist or you shouldn't be able to love who you want to love as a gay person. Because that's where the rubber really meets the road. It's not when you're tolerating the racism of people toward other groups that aren't you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Did I watch Bluey? We did watch Bluey. Bluey is an amazing show, Australian show.
Lin-Manuel Miranda apparently loves it. Was on Bluey because he loved it so much.
Oh, really? Oh, that's dope.
Yeah.
We watched that. We watched an amazing show called Veggie Saws, which is it's dinosaurs made of vegetables. They're little green round animals called the P-Rex.
Aww.
Because it's a P, but it's a T-Rex. It's very funny. And we watched Thomas the Tank Engine. We watched Peppa Pig, but I'll be honest with you, Peppa Pig can suck a fat one. I'm not a big fan. No, Peppa Pig is shite. Fucking waste of time.
Going hard on Peppa Pig.
Yeah, no. I'm splashing in a muddy puddle. Get fucked. Get fucked.
Politician, and he probably has a point for millions of people, and the left is miserable at countering that. They just go on about, they call it racism. Well, I don't know. I don't know how helpful that is. Most of the time, the left...
Notice that he didn't say it wasn't racist.
No, yeah. Calling racism isn't helpful.
But apparently the truth needs to be told. Except when it's calling racist racist.
Yeah.
Then we need to be nice to them.
Wait. Like, it might be racist, but isn't that Martin Luther King?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
King say that about.
Yeah, I have a dream, but I forgot it. So it's.
I mean, it might be racism, but.
Yeah.
I mean, he is the liberal, the white liberal that King criticized.
From a Brummagem jail, yes.
Mm-hmm. From a Brummagem?
Brummagem. It's another way of saying Birmingham. But specifically the one in the UK rather than...
Yes, he wasn't arrested in the UK.
Alabama. No, he never came here, did he?
I don't think he ever traveled to the UK now.
Technically, the only time Elvis Presley was ever in the UK was very briefly in Birmingham. When he went on his national service duty in Germany. They had a stopover at Birmingham Airport. And he walked across the tarmac for like 10 seconds.
Oh, there you go.
That literally was the only time he was ever here.
Oh, the other thing, over the last couple of days, I introduced my friend to James Baldwin.
Oh, yes, Jimmy Baldwin. We need to keep that flame going because that guy was a fucking star.
Yeah, and he was just talking about the fact that just existing in the United States was a threat. I mean, it still is, but it was an active, like, police enforced.
Yeah.
Government enforced threat at the time. And him going to Paris, he realized that his paranoia wasn't a mental illness. He actually lived in a terrorist society, basically.
Yeah. There's a reason he moved to France.
Yes, yeah.
Gaullist France, for fuck's sake.
Mm-hmm.
Mad.
The left's greatest sin seems to be, and I speak as a sort of leftist, is
that
we're rather right than effective. And that to me is I'm very English in that regard. I come from the empirical tradition and think.
Oh, what does that even mean?
The fart huffing, the self-aggrandizing wank. Like, Britain is at its worst when it does this thing like, oh, this American exceptionalism is very cringe, isn't it? Like, motherfucker, we're way worse with it. It's just we're way less obvious. We do this crafty shit. We've got the imperial tradition because we're so intelligent.
Yeah.
Smell my own farts. Like, it's, oh my God. We're a shithouse. We are the residue of a once powerful nation. Stop pretending you're something special.
Yeah, also, what is this whole they'd rather be right than effective? What does that mean?
I don't really know. I genuinely am not entirely sure. Also, if we're not effective, how can we be to blame for the right?
Yeah.
Like how?
Yeah, exactly.
What did we do exactly?
Yeah. So, maybe he'll say, like, but I don't understand. Like, yes, people who have like a progressive stance have often been in the minority, and it's been a struggle for a reason, right? Martin Luther King apparently would rather be right than effective.
True.
Because he did all these marches, and he could have just been, more accommodating to the white racists.
Yeah, exactly. That, you know what? You're so right, Christo. Martin Luther King was shit.
Things should work. Things should have an effect. They should, and if it's simply just.
Hang on, he was anti 5G. Really? Because that doesn't sound very empirical. That sounds like some conspiracy theory shite.
Ooh.
Don't be... Look, he's just Alex Jones with a cut glass accent.
Screams of racism and so on, then that's not going to help. It's not going to help stop the rise of reform. It's not going to stop the terrible deaths of immigrant families coming in on rickety boats across the channel. It's not going to help anything.
What isn't going to help anything?
I'm not sure.
What is he even talking about?
I'm not sure. Stephen Fry, Chrissy Hind, and Sophie Winkleman signed letter protesting 5G advertising on the tube. Stephen Fry and a host of other celebrities have signed a letter asking for Transport for London to change its 5G signage, which they claim could be dangerous for children. Well, the advertisements could be dangerous, or the 5G could be dangerous.
I guess the 5G, presumably.
Yeah. Signed an open letter to signage that promotes 4G on the tube. 5G is coming to the tube, blah, blah, blah. The message, which was spearheaded... Hang on, fuck off advert, dickhead. Potential danger... No, hang on, no, yeah, the musician and founder Tim Arnold warns the potential dangers of this advertisement. As parents and health professionals campaign worldwide to protect their children from the numerous harms associated with smartphone apps, your administration is normalising the pervasive technology they're fighting against.
What? Apps? What does 5G have to do with dangerous apps? I mean, 5G is just the way that the phones can... I don't understand.
Yeah, I don't know. The letter goes on to suggest an alternative poster in the style of TfL's Be Kind and Be Considerate to Other campaigns. The new poster bears the slogan, "It's okay to be off-grid if you're a kid." Arnold argues that children want to switch off, but are scared to step outside these digital norms, pressured into smartphone use, or bullied if they choose otherwise.
What? Be kind, go offline? Isn't that kind of woke?
Yeah.
Isn't that where you rather be right than effective?
Yeah. I'm not.
But I don't. What is he? I don't understand. Like.
I don't know. Yeah.
Kids are spending too much time on phones. Okay, but what does that have to do with 5G?
Not sure. In all honesty, not sure.
Yeah. I also this is a parenting thing. Not like anyway.
Almost everything that I dislike about the rise of the right in America and here and in Europe, I can say is probably the fault of the left.
Idiot.
You're a fucking moron. Also, again, if you're having dinner with Douglas Murray, you don't hate the rise of the right. You're a part of it.
Yeah, you're encouraging. You're normalizing it.
Yeah.
There was a period not that long ago, which you were both old enough to remember, when at the top of the wheel of fortune were Clinton and Blair and the Third Way and a kind...
Yeah, but that's not the left, is it, you twat?
No, this is like centrist. This is like selling out. Like it's just like trying to appeal to conservatives. This is left wings trying to appeal to conservatives and selling out their like left wing comrades.
Yeah, exactly. This is like some absolute liberal bullshit.
It's median voter theory, right?
Yeah.
You're not trying to run on principles. You're trying to run on popularity.
Yeah.
Kind of social democratic politics that look set fair, and then now at the bottom of the wheel, and they screwed up. They screwed up in all kinds of ways. They had the wind of economic fortune at their backs. They had everything.
Okay, what did they do, though, that you think is so terrible?
Yeah, Clinton got rid of the budget deficit, like, for the first time ever. What does this even have to do with anything? It was W who went to war and Blair who bowed down to him.
Yeah.
What is he even talking about with Clinton and Blair here?
He did come on a dress, though.
Yeah, but that doesn't have anything to do with, like, economic... That was the dot-com bubble. It was called a bubble for a reason, because it was unsustainable. It was just capitalism throwing a bunch of fucking money and hoping it would stick on Amazon.com instead of Pets.com.
Yeah.
Do you remember Pets.com?
I do remember Pets.com.
Yeah, but nobody uses it anymore because it's a useless website. Like, yeah, and everyone's just throwing money at it, and it was irrational. Isn't that one the phrase irrational exuberance?
Something like that, yeah.
Like by Greenspan.
Yeah.
Thing, really, to make the 90s and early 2000s a very prosperous time for the West and the.
Maria, I don't know who you're talking to here, but like. Y'all were fine when it was Vosh saying it's women's fault that men turn fascist? What the fuck who said this? What?
Here we go, yeah.
That's not a thing that I've ever said. What?
Fall of Russia and
can you just pause it? Sorry. Who said the phrase irrational exuberance? Alan Greenspan. Irrational exuberance is the phrase used by the then Federal Reserve Board Chairman Alan Greenspan in a speech given at the American Enterprise Institute during the dot-com bubble of the 1990s. The phrase was interpreted as a warning that the stock market might be overvalued.
Well, thankfully they all listened to him and nothing bad happened.
Yeah, if only we didn't live in a boom-bust cycle of capitalism that does this over and over and over and over and over again.
All right, comrade.
Melting of the ice of that extraordinary hegemony seemed to lead to the famous, remarks Fukuyama and the end of history and all that. But it
which I think he said that before Blair was ever in power. I think
the dot-com bubble.
No,
90s?
Fukuyama, the end of history.
End of history. Yeah, I was reading that in college in 1990.
Yeah.
So that was a softback. So I think that was probably the 80s, but I can look it up. End of history. And also, like, poor Fukuyama, that guy is gonna like live in infamy.
It is, yeah. It's not great.
1992 book.
Yeah, so like he's going. It led to that. No, it didn't. It was pre Clinton and pre.
Yeah, I mean the book was written. Obviously, it was published. Here we go. The book expands on the essay "The End of History," published in the National Interest Journal in the summer of 1989.
When Reagan.
Bush. Right. And it was
no, just after Reagan, yeah.
Yeah, H.W. Bush and Major.
89. No, Thatcher was still in.
Oh, okay. It was Major came in 90.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, it failed, and part of the reason it failed is that it only spoke to itself, and its language was.
What is he talking
became
about?
I don't know.
More and more alien to most people, I think.
And I think that's a very profound point, because you see a lot of what is happening on the left, and I say as someone who comes from the left.
Sure you do.
You see these kind of speech.
Yeah, no, he's a classical liberal, Christy.
Yeah, I was left in 1990. I was part of the left, man. Yeah. Back when it was still cool to be homophobic. Yeah.
Codes. And now in Parliament, you see a Labour MP, Tahir Ali, talking openly about blasphemy laws.
Yeah.
And you go, and I find that
what?
As somebody who has experienced a communist country.
I don't know. Also, I don't care about your fucking past in a communist country, mate. What the fuck's that got to do with anything?
Yeah.
I don't know exactly what he means.
All right, I'll see if I can look it up. I mean, I have a feeling this is another lie, but
I would suspect so. Yeah.
Utterly terrifying. You look at Scotland, a left-wing government criminalising public performance. This is terrifying,
yes,
Stephen.
It is.
All right,
it's
so here I've got it.
It must be
Oh, God. Labour MPs call for Islamophobia crackdown prompts blasphemy law fears. Labour MPs call for a law to tackle Islamophobia. Has provoked concerns about Keir Starmer's commitment to freedom of speech. Birmingham Hal Green and Moseley MP Tahir Ali, so one of your MPs,
Yep.
raised the issue of hate crimes against Muslims as part of Islamophobia Awareness Month in November.
Yeah.
And he talks about that, and
That's not a blasphemy law, though, is it?
no, the MP later tweeted, I'm just going to skip ahead. As November marks Islamophobia Awareness Month, it is vital that the government takes clear and measured steps to prevent acts that fuel hatred in society. The problem is, I was a little bit about blah, blah, blah. I'm trying to get to the Mr. Ali's question raised concerns that he was, in effect, calling for a blasphemy law.
No. It's Islamophobia, not like that's
Yeah.
attacking people for being Muslims. Not...
Do they understand what blasphemy is?
No, clearly not.
Clearly not.
No.
I don't see this. So, Tory veteran MP Sir David Davis, a long-standing campaigner for for human rights, posted on X, for centuries, one of the most important features of Britain's freedom of speech is the absolute right to criticize religion. There's a difference between criticizing Islam and being Islamophobic.
Yeah.
This is not a difficult distinction to make. You can criticize Islam, and I can criticize Christianity, and not be Christophobic.
Yeah.
You know,
this is coming from the same fucking set of people who've spent the last year saying that any criticism of the state of Israel is anti-Semitic.
Yeah. Yes.
But apparently there is no distinction to be had between critique of religious ideals in the form of Islam and being a fucking prick to Muslims.
Yes, this is it. Islamophobia is a fear of anyone who's Muslim or a hatred of someone who's Muslim. It's not a criticism of Islam.
No.
And what they want to do is be bigots and be protected.
Yeah.
Again, consequence for free speech.
Indeed.
Opposed, and it must be opposed loudly, and in. You know, it is, in a strange way, up to people like you and me who are supposedly from the left. I'm not saying your voice isn't powerful too, Constantine.
Because they're not from the left.
Yeah, because you're not. None of you are.
Posers.
Yeah.
Because it is, obviously. Yeah, it's extraordinary to think we've come so quickly from a time when the blasphemy laws were being lifted.
Mm-hmm. What are you even talking about? Islamophobia is not...
Yeah, he's just lying.
Down our throats again. I got involved with the blasphemy laws being lifted in Ireland, funnily enough, because I did an interview with, do you remember Gay Byrne?
Yes.
Oh, gosh,
yeah.
there we go. Name dropping.
Yeah.
Oh, lovely.
And,
name dropping.
When he stepped
Remember
down
when
from
I
the
ended
late
blasphemy laws in Ireland?
Yeah.
I did that.
Yeah, exactly. It's difficult. It's odd when you to hear this posh Englishman name dropping a nation. Like that's intense.
In Dublin, and started to do this very personal interview show about what people believed, and I did one rather pleasingly in number 1 Merrion Square, which is where Oscar Wilde grew up as a boy, and he talked about my atheism and so on, because it was a Sunday program for Ireland, so it was basically a spiritual religious slot that he was occupying for the television. And he said, now suppose, Stephen, suppose
You just know he's told
you
this
die
story
and
1,000
you
times at dinner parties.
God,
Right.
what do you say to him? If you're wrong, there he is. So I came out with a very standard theodicy, as it's called, the argument from evil. I said I'd say to him, how fucking dare you? Bone cancer in children? What were you thinking of? You made this cosmos and this world, and you allowed for this absolutely undeserved pain.
This is
and
nothing like Islamophobia.
Like that.
Just
Anyway,
remind people.
It went viral, this thing I said on his program, and somebody went to the police and said he is breaking Ireland's blasphemy laws, which hadn't changed since the days when the church basically ran the country, and he should be taken to court. And it was all very Irish, because I said yes. I suddenly pictured myself pale but resolute, gripping the dock. And,
Nothing to do with
speaking up,
Islamophobia.
for my right to offend the religious. And it turned out, of course, that the man who'd gone to the police was actually an Irish barrister who did it in order to test the blasphemy laws and to prove that they were ridiculous and to force them to be changed, which they then were. So Ireland got rid of them. So that's how, and that was only, I don't know, 8 years ago.
So a barrister in Ireland did it.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Barrister
He
in
just
Ireland
used
did
you
it.
as an example to make a case in his own laws. He actually did the work. All you did was like go viral, and now you're taking credit for. Okay. By the way, so it's 10 o'clock. Is this what we have for tonight, or do you have anything else after this?
No.
We didn't have a chance to talk.
No, I thought, well, this is an hour long, so there's no way we're getting through
is.
it, and we have not got through 20 minutes.
Okay, but we got through more than 7.
We did get through more than 7, that is true.
So-
Basically, you're saying you want to stop.
Well, I did have a long day today. I was on the train for like 2.5 hours. But I guess I don't necessarily think Stephen Fry is a malicious man.
No.
I think he is a man of he's a bit like Dark Matter 2525, who kind of gets some things but is so blinded by his own privilege. I think it is sometimes difficult for people to step out of their own experience and worldview, a way of looking at things, and see something from the position of an oppressed person or a disadvantaged person or a minority person, and realize that equality in law is nothing on paper, because it's just paper. What counts in life is power.
Yeah.
And when you say that people in power have the right to make people who don't have power live in fear, then you're not talking about a free society.
Yeah, pretty much.
The KKK's right to, free speech should never trump anyone's right to feel safe to walk the streets in America or to, feel as an American.
Yeah.
So.
Exactly. Those very same people were not standing up for the freedom of speech rights of Colin Kaepernick or.
Yeah, exactly. They're
any
not talking
number of
about
other
that.
people. Yeah.
No, and they're misrepresenting both times that they've cited things. The first one was the lady who was arrested for inciting racial hatred, an actual criminal statute. Left that part out.
Yeah.
And this whole thing about if you criticize Islam, you're going to be done under the blasphemy laws. No, Islamophobia. When you just dehumanize all Muslims, that's not criticizing religion. That is being a bigot toward a person, because it's like anti-Semitism, right? Yeah. But then, as you point out, you can't criticize anything done by the state of Israel, a government, and in a sovereign nation, you can't criticize it. Otherwise, you're against Jewish people. No, I mean, a government isn't the same thing as an individual or even a group of individuals. It's an official state actor on a world stage. It has certain moral obligations in a global community, right?
Yeah.
We have human rights for a reason as a convention after the Second World War.
True.
And you have to follow.
Oh, 254, you're in the hospital. What the fuck?
Whoa, no.
Are you okay? What's the haps? We are literally about to finish though, so please answer quickly, especially if you're going to die, because
Please, don't do that.
Yeah. Fact. Anyway, Christy, what, if anything, have you got coming up on your channel?
Honestly, I'm doing my D&D self-written mystery, but I'm taking a break from that this week, so instead we're doing a little one-shot over on Rolling Left. And I'll have a little time and space over the Christmas
holidays. You're doing a back shot on...
No, that's you on tomorrow night.
True. That's true.
Yes.
Fact.
So we're having a little one-shot. I created a little gnome artificer, or artificer, depending on how you want to say it. And her nickname's Poggers, as stated, and she's gonna have a little doggy steel defender and a little homunculus.
Fair enough. I
don't even know what those things are.
I do appreciate the word homunculus.
Yeah, it's a fun word, isn't it?
It is.
Homunculus, homunculi, if it's plural.
True.
Also
reminds me of the fantastic name for the band from Peep Show, Danny Dyer's Chocolate Homunculus. Beautiful.
Yeah, you want to eat that up.
I am in loco parentis. I am the last competitor on The Apprentice. I am a self-trained dentist. Sorry, go on.
So I think it would be interesting. I had this conversation. So the friend that I hang out with is also kind of like a Napoleon geek and a history geek. And
a fascist, okay.
And we were discussing basically how all of the genocide done by the Romans, is a lot of times just covered up.
Yeah.
You know, like it's just gonna. Oh yeah, so he like I was listening to the commentaries and he was talking about a city that surrendered, but then tried to like stab him in the back, and attack them after they'd surrendered, and he sold the whole fucking town at one block on the slave auction. There's 58,000 people. He sold an entire he sold an entire town into slavery. But we never mentioned that when we talk about Caesar. So it was like really just like because
but like he got all stabbed up and that.
Yeah, so you know you got to feel bad for him.
Can we get some lols in chat for that actually?
And so we just talked about how fucking sociopathic. So I just thought you and I maybe should have a little bit like let's put Caesar on trial. You know,
Okay.
like one of us can be his advocate, you know, not to actually say like defend genocide, but defend other, like he was innovative and he was pushing bound or whatever else, or just have it back and forth, like good, bad. We can both take both sides, like some good things that Caesar.
I mean, to be fair, I think you need to take the pro side then, because my argument is mainly going to be he laid major pipe. Enough said.
Of course.
Which, like, I don't know is enough to really get the job done.
It's probably not enough to balance out the scales, no.
But he did. He fucked so much.
But it just shows like how complicated history is, you know.
Yes.
So, and when we say you can't, people are like, oh, you can't judge. Of course you can fucking judge people in retrospect. Of course you can apply basic laws. Caesar himself said, it is known that all men love freedom and hate slavery. He knew what he was doing.
He sold people into slavery.
And he did it fucking anyway.
Yep.
Yeah. They didn't pacify Gaul. They broke the spirit of Gaul.
Yeah, he boasted, I killed 1 million and enslaved 1 million more. Which may be bigged up a little bit, let's be honest. He was one of the biggest self-fluffers in history.
Yeah, self-regret, yeah.
Yes. But, he's he definitely did a lot of fucking evil shit.
Yeah. So I thought maybe we can. Oh, but next time we talk, it's going to be Christmas Eve, and we were talking about doing something fun, like a pub quiz or.
Oh, is it Christmas Eve? I thought it was Christmas.
Well,
Eve.
no, it was the day before Christmas Eve. It's going to be the 23rd on the Monday, right?
I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah, so I have one more day of work, and then I'm not back to work until the 13th of January.
Nice. We'll sort something out off air. This seems like an off air conversation.
Yes, but we should actually do it. Yeah.
Okay.
So, all right, we'll kick around the football a little bit. It probably won't be debating the genocidal nature of the Caesar's campaigns in Gaul.
Shut up.
Who are you kicking us over to?
We're going over to James from the internet, who's watching some Majority Report. So that'll be cool.
Oh, that's
fun. Join us on the day before Christmas Eve. Christmas Eve.
Yeah, the eve of Christmas Eve.
Yeah. For something.
We'll entertain you.
It's goodbye from me and goodbye from Christy. Say goodbye, Christy.
Goodbye, Christy.
She did the bit.
Racistly.